And you're right, you didn't need the cornucopia. I just like dragging that out whenever.
I'll find a reason to use it.
All right.
This is cool.
I've already found a reason 2 other times. I thought this was like the third. Anyway, thank you so much, Allison. Our next roulette, you've already heard him play clarinet, but he also writes poetry.
Yeah.
And he's going to tell us about the fine art of forgiveness.
I was actually raised by my great-grandmother. My mom had me, she was the second son. She was a coqueta, as my great-grandmother would say, a coquette. Left me at my great-grandmother's and visited me once a month for about 10 years, and then at the age of 10 decided that she wanted to collect some money from the government and forced me to live with her, and I refused to. And we had a very rough relationship because I wanted to live with my great-grandmother, not the lady who visited me once a month. We made a great effort to mend our relationship because I had no choice. Throughout the course of my lifetime, she calls my other 3 brothers daily. She's called me maybe 30 times in my lifetime. Still, I want to hear her voice. So here we go. Come on, phone. Mom, yes, I will call her Mom, although I like her name, Lupe. 5 years passed since we spoke to each other. The reason was dark and grave, but I had to learn to forgive her. Her reason was equally as grave because I sought revenge and told her abusive husband about her other life. 5 years of defiance on both our parts. Our connection for 5 years was to hear reports about each other through my siblings. Our reports were about the conditions of our resolve never to forgive each other. My brothers were helpless and confused. Her dark secrets had been shed and I was to blame because I sought revenge. So she sought revenge too. Both disconcerted in silence. Oh, you're squirming in your seats, wanting the details. This is some juicy stuff. You're certain about that, indeed. Indeed, there's some dark stuff lurking in the past. And in the past it shall remain. The last report I'd received from my mom was that she was on permanent oxygen. I was tempted to retort, is that more hot air? But something hit me, something that resided in my central cortex of my stubborn brain. I miss my mom. I miss my mom no matter how broken she is and no matter how broken I have been. I miss my mom no matter how much she has dealt me. I miss my mom because she's the only mom from whose belly I rose. I went through the inventory of memories and experiences and realized that she also tried very hard to be a good mom. So now I expect that you're expecting a list of what she did right. No, I'm not going to provide you with a mushy list of feelings and mushy feelings about what mom did right. After all, we haven't spoken in 5 years, but how could I change that if she hung up on me again? So I told my brother to tell my mom that it was time that we move forward and never look back. That I would be the one to make the call, to tell my mom that I would call her and we would talk about the present and only the present. My brother said it was a risky proposition, as we both knew my mom harbored up memories from the past and lived in the negative her entire life. She was not one to move forward, but recreate dramas from the past. She warned me that I might find myself in the defensive, as always, and be hurt by unrealistic expectations. It took me several weeks to get the courage to call, but when I did, I got the answering machine and I left a message saying that I heard that she was struggling and that I wanted to encourage her with the one thing I knew that was constant, that I loved her no matter what. I did not hear from her for several days until I got a text from her that read, "Got your message, sorry I was not home, I just want you to know that I love you, mijo." So even though the message was positive, it took me a few days to call her back. And when I did reach her, I told her that I was worried about her health and her well-being. She asked me about my health, We talked about our common battle with arthritis, depression, fighting weight gain. We talked about our concerns for our brother's health. We talked about ice cream floats, fried chicken, and barbecue, and not wanting to cook anymore. We talked about the present. We talked about the one thing we so truly wanted to hear from each other. I love you. Mom and I got something right. We loved each other in the present. And after we hung up, I realized something. I love the sound of my mom's voice.
Aw.